Hey guys, it's Annie and welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be about beehives, and I've been putting off cracking open this hive for probably about a month now because it's always unpleasant work when you have to try and figure out how your bees died. And I know for a fact that this hive is no longer alive. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take it apart step by step, see what we can find in there, and see if we can tell what went wrong this winter in this hive. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I make sure I have my EpiPen and my bee tool, and we're going to put on some latex gloves. And I'm putting on latex gloves because it's going to be sticky in here, and also because I am allergic to bees, and bees can still sting you even after they're dead. We keep this ratchet strap on for the bears. In case the bears come by, they'll try to tip over the entire hive. And so just for safety reasons, if it helps to keep the hive together if it does get tipped over. All right, so first, take off the top cover. And this is my overwintering quilt box here. I cut little holes in the sides to get some airflow going across, and then the shavings absorb any moisture that comes up through here. I'm gonna have to actually take off the tape and stuff first too. Forgot about that. It still has the winter bee cozy on it. This is my first time using one of these covers. I usually use some pink insulation. I think it's 1.5 inch insulation. And then I cover it with tar paper. That's what I did with this hive over here. That one also didn't survive, so. Down, I'm going to use my bee tool. Take the whole cover off, or else these shavings will go everywhere, so. Alright, so here we have, I'll put them over there. So we have our honey super on our hive here, and I left this honey super on just in case we actually had bees that were going to survive. They did attempt to winterize themselves. You can see this propolis line around everywhere, so they were trying to insulate themselves, and I don't actually know if this had any honey in it. Let's see here what we've got. Some spacing issues down here. I think I can actually see some honey in there though. Make sure this is on, and it is. I'm going to take these first two out. Alright, so nothing here. Nothing here. It's like two. It looks like they started drawing out some foundation. I've got my thing ready for any kind of honey that we might need to bring inside. So, well, look at that. There's some honey in here. Alright, so this right here, this is capped honey, and we call it capped honey because it has the capping over it right here. And once it's capped like that, it can actually stay good for forever. It's completely sealed in there. Let's see. Wow, that's great. I'm gonna have a little honey here. Oh my, even more. This is amazing. So these are plastic frames that I put into here, and that's, I normally use wax foundation, but I was trying something different with this hive. And wow, I wasn't expecting any of this. This is almost a full frame of honey. This is beautiful. And this actually is on a wax foundation with wire. So this is can be comb honey right here. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much there is here. All right, I'm starting to see some bees right inside here. It looks like I've got, that looks like a drone bee to me. And then we've got a worker bee here. I don't know if y'all can see the difference between them. Drone bee, worker bee. I'm gonna catch a shot of this with my phone.
My picture didn't come out so good, so here's a picture I borrowed from Google Photos. The bee on the left-hand side is a worker bee, and these are the ones that you would see on flowers. They go out and collect the honey, the nectar that makes honey. The one in the middle is a drone bee. It's a boy. He can't even sting anything. He doesn't even have a stinger, and he's only there to make sure that there is a man around to mate with the queen, because if the queen can't mate, then she can't make more worker bees. The queen is on the right-hand side. She has that dot on her so that she can be identified more easily. Each year, the beekeeper will change the color so he can keep track of which queen was there in which year.
I'm really surprised at the amount of honey there is in this hive. I mean, these are full frames of comb honey. I can't believe it. I also can't believe the bears haven't been out here yet. So if anyone's wondering where all the bees are, they wouldn't be living in this top box. This top box is just for the extra honey that they store, the surplus honey. And normally we would take this off and we would steal this honey from them. But this winter I was worried about these bees, and I didn't think they were gonna make it, and they didn't. See, this honey here is not capped over. This means that this honey still has a high moisture content, and that it was not completely ready. So that's technically still nectar. Okay, we're getting toward the end here, so a little bit here. They did draw out this comb. This is great. Drawn out comb did a great job. And our last one here. All right, and this is a little better idea of what the wax foundation looks like, not the plastic, but it has wires in it to keep it straight and help the bees to build onto it. All right, so we can take our super box off now. This is a honey super. I'm gonna set it on this one here. And slip our bee cozy off. Got some moldy bees here. It's a moldy drone. There's another drone here. All right, so this is where we're gonna find our problem. We're gonna see what happened here. First, I'm gonna So now we have a landing for our frames here. All right, so I'm not seeing a definitive cluster up here on the top, but it does look like we have some actual honey in here too. Wow, I don't know which end to start from. Maybe get on this side. Get some of this comb out of the way here. Got all kinds of spacing issues in here. You can see this is too wide. I left this too wide, and they built all this comb in between. If you don't have, if you have a space more than 3/8 of an inch wide, they will build a comb. They will build it wrong. See, these are not. These should be straight down like those ones are, but they're not. They were spaced out wrong. The bees leave just as much room as they think they need to get through. Oh boy, I'm having trouble with this one. All right, here we go. It's coming out a little. These suckers are heavy. That means there's honey on them. Boy, it's very heavy. Okay, so, wow. Oh my. All right, so that's, this is some bees here. It looks like they got a lot of honey. I'm not seeing any pollen or anything like that. Lots of honey, though. I'm also not seeing many bees. This was actually the hive that I was going to give the better chance to. Oh boy, okay. So this is a full frame of honey. Unbelievable, unreal. Oh my goodness. This weighs at least 10 pounds right there. That stuff in there. Another full frame here. And these are all full. So this hive was what it looks like it was without a queen, because we're not seeing one here. This is just all honey. So these, what it looks like is these guys went honey bound. They didn't have a queen. I can see even more honey down in there. Oh, wow. And there's our cluster. All right, we found our cluster. This is our cluster down here. If we're careful, we can find the queen. But there might not be one, too. I waited till the last minute to buy my bee package last year, and I ended up getting my bees from Georgia, and that was really bad. That's a tiny, tiny, tiny cluster. Yeah, it should be much bigger than that. Oh dear. It's nothing but honey. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I might go ahead don't want to ruin any more of the comb than I can, and I also can't extract all of this at once. This is all honey. Oh boy, okay. And I can see down in here that there's gonna be more honey down there. But I gotta get this inside tonight because I can't leave this out here with bears and bugs, mice. I can't believe I haven't seen a mouse yet. That's insane. So, all right. Damn. Nothing but honey. All right. So here we are. I want to look real quick down in that next. Just stick right there. Oh, this is so heavy and there's honey everywhere. All right, so here's the bottom of our cluster. A lot less bees than I thought there'd be. Like I said, this was the one that I thought was going to do better. With our spacing issues here, we're a little bit better, but not perfect. We're missing a couple spots here and here that our spacing is wrong. There it is there too. I'm learning quite a few lessons here today. But these are also lessons that I knew ahead of time, and I think I tried to cut corners, and this is what happens, is that you end up with issues in your burr comb and your bridge comb. All right, so I feel like I'm gonna stop the video here and maybe start it up again if I can get to it today. So I'm gonna go and extract some honey as much as I can. My main conclusion with my bees is that the queen was either killed or didn't survive earlier on in the season than I thought. And unfortunately, she, because she was gone earlier in the season, wasn't able to make enough brood to keep a big cluster of bees. And that's why we found just those tiny little amount of bees in that hive. And without the queen and without direction, to feed and raise her babies, the workers just go out and collect honey and bring it back because they don't really know what else to do. In some situations, they can raise an emergency queen if they know the queen is going to be sick, but unfortunately, I think these bees were already a little bit on the downside of, they just weren't very healthy to begin with. So unfortunately, like I always think, I'd rather have the bees than the honey, but we have ended up so far with 4 gallons of honey, some beautiful comb honey too, which is one of my favorite things to be able to give out, and with a lot of knowledge, because I think that I've learned several lessons from this past year. And once again, this is my 4th year of keeping bees as an adult. I did used to do it when I was a kid, and I feel like I know less now than I did when I started. And I hope that stops pretty soon. Every year I feel like I know a little bit less, but I do learn a little bit more. So hopefully this year will be the year of the bees. And stay tuned to the channel because I'm definitely going to go vlog picking up the bees and bringing them home in my van. It's going to be really exciting. I'm going to have to wear a lot of safety equipment because of my allergy to the bees. And I've never vlogged a bee run before. So it's always exciting, it's always crazy, there's always different stuff that can happen on the trip. People are always really surprised to see bees pouring out of your window when you stop at Dunkin' Donuts or stop for whatever break you need to get. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm gonna leave you with my little Suela and April, who are obviously in heat. Guys just loving life.